Tiff is cute. And she got body.
Man.
Give me body.
I know, I was like, I tried to cover it up like a grandma.
She trying to grandma, but she got on one of them little
crack, but like cover up the rest.
one of them little fitted skirt situations. Man, it's a cold deal. Hey, listen. Let's get busy. Today's topic is going to be amazing. Are you unequally yoked? Are you in an unequally yoked relationship and are struggling to either fix it or leave it? A deeper look at how to be in love with a non-believer. God, look at Mimi. Look at Mimi.
Now that's what I need. So right there, this.
How you doing?
In color, whatever. Did y'all see this? Did you see her walk by?
God.
He's like side boob. Yeah.
Look where my hand is. It's right on that hip. Right on that hip piece. God damn.
Lord.
This shit is disrespectful.
Not disrespectful.
Man, I get distracted.
This shit is disrespectful.
I got so distracted.
Yo, welcome to the Voice of Reason. We go live in 5. Live in 5. Listen, I need everybody to reach out. I need everybody to support, man. I'm looking for what did I ask for? I'm looking for 30 people to donate $100 today. Earlier today, we had almost 800 people in the chat room
Hey.
for the Zoe What Show.
Hey.
This show averages around 354.
Oh.
But yeah, that's all right. That's a good number. Because a lot of people are just finding out that the Zoe What and the Voice of Reason shows are broadcasting live. A lot of people just finding that out. So I'm cool with that. Can your relationship with your religion ruin your relationship?
I like that little.
Oh, everybody in here tripping. Mimi, wow. Look at this. Wow.
Hey, I think that Rachel like,
Wow.
bring it on, Voice of
Mimi, thick delicious. Wow.
Mimi is the truth.
Everybody's in here. Damn, Tiff. Wow. Give me body. Hey, yo, so seriously. Come on, man. I need everybody to hit that super chat. If you can't hit the super chat, go to my website. IamZoeWilliams.com. Click the donation button. Let's make a charge today. We're looking for 30 people to drop $100 today during this show, during this 2-hour. Hold on one second.
Are the headphones that work for anybody?
Yo.
That needs to be fixed. I can't even find the piece, but if you give me the thing,
What's happening? You all right?
Okay. Mimi, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready to do radio. That's why you missed me.
I just feel like
plug in the
yeah.
That's what I'm
doing.
too.
Go around that way.
Are you good? Alright, so look, this is what I'm going to do. I get off at 7 p.m. I'm going to call you when I'm in the car driving home, okay?
Hey,
There it is, alright? Alright, babe. Yeah! Look who else is in the building!
Hey.
Oh.
I got to get mine!
Wait, hold on.
Hallelujah, Jesus! Oh, man, this shit about to be crazy. Hey, listen, this is what I do, y'all. This is what I do. I promote some of the greatest content ever.
Yes.
I promote some of the greatest content ever. You under dig? Some of the greatest content ever. And that content needs to be supported by my group, by my crew. Please share this video. You know you can share this video via Twitter. Post it on your Facebook page. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, who is that fine melanin goddess? They in here. Monkey suit Mimi. They called you Candy Bar Brown. Oh, I love it.
Candy Brown.
She is, man.
I'm gonna use that.
On the beautiferous chocolatey side of the game.
I'm big glad I have natural hair and no bra. I'm like, oh gosh. This need to be free sometimes.
Oh, I got everybody in the shot. I love this sideways shot. I just like it this way. I don't know why. Looks like the old Batman episodes where it's kind of tilted sideways when the bad guy walked in. Because I'm about to be the motherfucking bad guy today.
Uh-oh. You always are.
So you guys know what the topic is, right?
I do, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You under there? I got major questions, right? I got major questions. I don't know how people are going to be able to deal with these questions. But I think it's important that we handle it today. Listen to this. Zoe, share some of the chocolate, old hogging ass nigga. Damn. Don't blame me, because God bless me. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. We got to go live.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm gonna do the call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the integrity stuff? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that? I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad tax routine. How does he maintain his humbosity?
I like it when it kisses my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hey, we should have a show intro battle. Whose phone is on? Oh, we just got it on and blasting. Whose phone? Is that you?
Oh, that is me.
Lord have mercy.
I didn't even realize that's how we do it.
Lord have
I
mercy.
did not hear that.
We should have a show intro battle. I would say my show has the dopest intro of any show here.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Phil, you're an engineer here. I'm sure you've heard other intros.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Our show, that intro is pretty lickety split, right?
Nah, your intro lit.
You under dig? On the speciality side of the game.
Special. Get out the bus.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Mimi got a fly ass intro for her show too. Got her daughter rapping. That shit is on some. Hey, that shit is lit. I can't front.
Thank you.
Listen, if this is your first time tuning into the Voice of Reason, please understand what it is that we do. I try to be a fair and impartial referee, judge, adjudicator, so to speak, of relationship topics that I allow intellectual, beautiful, talented, industrious sisters from all walks of life. No, you can't come co-host with me, partner. So let a nigga come co-host with you. I know it's all Bath and Beyond Body Works in this motherfucker right now. It's all Carol's daughters up in here, smelling delicious. Can't smell none of it, nigga. That's wrong, ain't it? And the camera sniffing. No, I enjoy it, man. Listen, I enjoy it. Shit, man. It's special, you know? Okay, let me get back to it. So, we talk about relationship stuff. And I love to open it up and allow women to open up and have the kind of conversation that maybe they can't have at home. You know, niggas be listening to their women a little different, right? Women can't really tell the truth like that. Because the nigga be listening like, what? Like, have you ever had your woman do some new shit on you sexually? And y'all been together for a long time, and she just pulls some shit out of her bag? And you be like, where you learn that from? Then you start looking sideways like, you got another trainer, bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Your mind be somewhere. Niggas is weird. So women can't really talk. But I decided to create a forum where women could come, open up, no judgment, no condemnation, no disrespect, no objectification. Well, maybe a little. But they could come here and talk and chop it up free of judgment. So with that said, you have been introduced to what the voice of reason actually is. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, before I get to my topic, I got to promote a couple of things. Second annual Black Power Awards. Go to blackpower.com. Zoe is doing the Relationship Dismount Workshop on Friday. As soon as I get into town, I'm doing a workshop. Okay? It's my book. Get yourself a copy. Ooh, oh yeah, it's breaking up. It's my book. Get yourself a copy. IamZoeWilliams.com. IamZoeWilliams.com. Order a copy now. I'm telling you, it's a cold piece of work. I got a lot of people. Somebody said, who is that chocolate thang, brother? Damn, they called you a thang. Well, I can only give up a few superficial stats. She's Virgo. And married. Mind your business. Okay, we're back. We're back, man. So, Black Power Awards, November 17th, 2017, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. A bunch of workshops going on. Of course, Professor Griff will be there. So many people going to be there. It's so dope. Great event. I think David Banner is actually the host, right, of the Black Power Awards. Him and another sister. As a matter of fact, if you guys were watching the Zoe What Morning Show, you saw me open up my God box from David Banner. He sent it to me. Got the special edition God box with the lacquer box with the CD and books and flags, and it's a dope little package. The God box. You got to go support David Banner and that movement. I'm just saying, I'm out here in these streets doing big things with big people. You under dig? You know what it is. Zoe Williams is real life out here.
Real in these streets.
Real dense a motherfucker. I want you guys to go to Luxor Hotel and Casino. What date, Zoe? October 11th through the 14th, 2017. My homegirl, her name is Aquarius Maximus. She has a cardology conference. Go to cardologyconference.com. What is cardology? You guys see I be flipping these cards, right? Mm-hmm. Read niggas' cards. What's your birthday? Oh, you the jack of whoop-de-whoop. Oh, you the two of spades. You the whoop-de... Listen, white people then came, took the ancient science out of ancient Egyptian, out of ancient Egypt, and they didn't create, but they control the divination of the cards. You know, it's all in the cards. You hear that saying all the time. You know, play the cards that you were dealt. This is the hand I was dealt. All that ancient shit is ours. Her whole situation will tell you how to learn these cards, teach you how to learn these cards at the Luxor Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, October 11th through the 14th, 2017. Go to cardologyconference.com, www.cardologyconference.com. You know who else is real good at the cards? My homeboy Kevin, who's on the Zoe What Show.
Oh, he does cards too?
That motherfucker is so cold on the cards.
Jeez.
Listen,
Gee.
I was mad at the nigga for many years
Why?
because he wouldn't let us use the cards to gamble.
Oh, right. They be talking about like messing up different energies and
He
stuff.
was like, nah, man, you gonna karma and the spirit, and you
Right.
can't use it for that.
Well, of course.
So that disappointed me.
Right.
But you can't call me and be like, nigga, Kobe Bryant is gonna go off tonight. And then the nigga go score 81 points.
Right.
Because now I'm like, nigga, we could have bet. You can't call me and go, Derek Fisher is going to do something. I don't know what. But something will be done by Derek Fisher. Then the nigga hit the game-winning shot in the playoffs. See, he does that kind of weird shit.
Right.
And he's in the Jack of Hearts tonight. What? The card shit is crazy. Check it out, cardologyconference.com. Go support that. And then, as usual, you know I'm turned up. I have one of these before every show.
Oh, goodness.
It's nigger rocket fuel.
Oh, jeez.
I need to buy one.
I can't
You
even
need
say
to buy
it.
like a cake.
No,
Yeah.
it's
They come
rocket
in a cake.
fuel.
Yeah, they
It's
come in a cake.
real energy.
Yeah.
I need some.
It's healthy. No sugar, no carbs, amino acids. You under dig? And you know what happens later on.
No, we don't.
Oh, shoot.
Like, no, we don't. No, we don't.
Look, actually, I don't.
I'm just saying, it's better than Red Bull. Total Package Energy. Get there, totalpackageenergy.com. If you're a truck driver, if you drive late at night, this is something you need in your back pocket. This is a real situation. Totalpackageenergy.com. Please support. Okay, what else am I supposed to promote? I think I'm good. Okay, cool. I think I'm good. I'm ready for today's topic. Are you? We got to know what women think. Gosh, this shit's going to be crazy. When I be coming up with these topics, I just be seeing y'all faces in my head like, she going to be looking like this. She going to be pissed when I ask this question. This topic was actually designed for last week.
Right.
Last week, Friday. But we were having hella technical difficulties, man. And I was like, nah, we can't do this. I can't. I got to be able to film it. I got to be... No, we're not going to do it. All right? So today, we are. Are you unequally yoked up? Are you unequally yoked? Are you in an unequally yoked relationship and are struggling to either fix it or leave? Can your love... Oh, wait a minute, let me do it another way. Can the love of Jesus and your love for your partner save his non-believing ass? 323-230-4610. A deeper look at how to be in love with a non-believer. Is it a good idea? Paul says no. Who the fuck is Paul, and why does he have anything to do with your relationship? I'm just asking. 323-230-4610. Call us. We want to know what your story is. A lot of people have reached out to me saying, man, I'm in this relationship. I'm moving away from religion. My wife is getting deeper into religion, or vice versa. The wife might be moving away from religion, but the husband might be getting more dogmatic, deeper into religion. How do you make that relationship work? Here's the show intro. An old Native American woman once said, if you take your holy book and put it out in the wind and the rain, soon the paper on which the words are printed will disintegrate and the words will be gone. Conversely, our holy book is the wind and the rain. What if there were no holy books that boldly claimed to be life's instruction manual? Would we find a successful way to propagate and educate our species beyond the level of barbarism? Do we need religion to elevate? Oh, God. Ugh. Does religion provide us with answers? or does it limit our search for the truth? Do all of the different opinions, religions, denominations, secret societies, and schools of thought in our world make it more difficult to find a partner who can embrace us as well as our personal ideologies? On tonight's show, we will examine how our religious beliefs, or lack thereof, can affect the way we choose our significant others. Gosh, tonight we will ask the question, can your relationship with religion ruin your relationship with your significant other? I say yes. Off tops. I say yes off tops. If a woman come to me and she religious, I'm done. I can't fuck with her. Period. No disrespect. Might be attracted to you. Might even be a fucking soulmate. But if you cheating on me with an ideology, get your ass up out of here. I see that, and let me just be honest. I just see that as spiritually immature. Because I see religion as spiritual training wheels, so to speak. It's a practice. And at some point, you got to stop practicing and get your ass in a real game.
Right.
You understand? Oh my God. Can a mix-matched religious belief become a major marriage deal breaker? How we gonna raise the kids? I was born Baptist. I was born Catholic. Both you niggas slaves, but that's a different show.
Yes, massa.
How do we raise the kids in an interfaithful, listen to that, not interracial, interfaithful relationship? I chose my daddy's belief. Well, I chose my mama's. And that's why you niggas argue every Thanksgiving. But it's fine. Oh, what if my partner and I had different religious beliefs? How could we make this work? Can interfaithful marriages work? True or false? The biggest problem facing interfaithful couples is denying that differences actually exist. Wow. I'm going to throw it to y'all. I'm going to Mimi first. You should have known this was coming.
I did.
Ah, damn it. Mimi?
Yeah.
Mimi, I already know you, boo thang. That's one of the reasons why I don't fuck with Mimi like that. Because I know at some point I'm going to be down at Faithful Central. Because I'm going to be sprung. I'm going to be like, yes, Mimi. Is it communion day today? Do they have the purple grape juice? They're going to be like, what the fuck happened to Zoe? Mimi gave him some pussy. Changed his whole life. Mimi,
Yes.
is it a deal breaker?
You know what? It is a deal breaker from the standpoint if he's like an atheist and just really hardcore with it. If he's someone that just going through life, because we all go through our path, I believe I can pray and be there with him and we can understand each other. But that does pose problems with children and stuff like that. Like you say, you know, if one person doesn't believe and the other one does, then here's the argument. Do we believe in Christmas? Do we believe in this? Do we believe in that? And then that causes problems in the relationship. But on the flip side of it, I saw my grandfather and grandmother do it. And my grandmother, she was, at that time, she was an Eastern Star.
She was a Mason,
Yeah,
the female Mason.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, she was. And my grandfather used to hug the block. They used to call him Duke. And he was
What up,
like,
Duke?
Yeah, Duke
That's
was
my nigga right there.
Yeah, Duke was probably like 75, hanging out with the 20-year-old men. So you know what kind of Duke was, right? He was chilling.
He was real.
Yeah, he was real, you feel me? So I said all that to say, before he passed away, he got to know God, but then at that time, she changed her life. So she then became a Christian, but not really a Christian. She just went to church and had a spiritual relationship with God. But I just saw the change with both of them. For her going from an Eastern Star to being a Mormon, and then back to being, you know, she went through a roller coaster. And
Well,
I
Mormons
saw,
are Masons too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the whole situation. It was really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mimi be having stories, my nigga. I love it though. I love it. I believe that true love can transcend all religious beliefs and dogma and all of that. But a lot of times people need that religious fucking crutch
Right.
to make the relationship make sense to them.
No, I agree.
Yeah?
No, I agree. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I can see myself, like I said, in a relationship with an atheist or someone who's going to be arguing. We're gonna
Why
be
not?
arguing. Because I feel like their beliefs are so strong. It's just like if you're dating someone and they believe in Donald
You don't want to
Trump.
date with somebody with stronger beliefs than you?
No, I'm just saying, like Donald Trump, for example. If someone loved him, and I don't personally love him, and they're gonna be like proud of what he's doing, and I'm not gonna be. After a while, we're gonna be getting into it over this stuff that really has nothing to do with our relationship, but it has everything to do with what we believe in. And I don't. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's saying everything against what I believe in, I believe in me. So first and foremost, even though I'm gonna be,
I hope y'all
my
listening.
man,
I hope y'all listening.
even
Say it
though-
again. I believe in me.
I believe in me.
Let's go.
Yeah. So even though I'm going to be humble to my man, I believe in my beliefs. I'm not going to let that change certain things. Like if I believe that I believe in God, if they don't, I can't have them change my belief. That's my thought. I don't want to change them either. I would hope that they could change. But my point is, I can't be with someone that's going to make me not be the person God's called me to be, but yet I'm willing to change for certain principles and things of that nature in a relationship. Because you got to be able to change. You know what I'm saying? But certain things you got to, if you love your mama, you're not going to let nobody talk mess about her. You're not going to get with a man that's going to call your mama B all day. You're like, man, you stepping over those boundaries. You don't talk about my kid, my mama, whatever it is.
Right. No, I can smoke a bag of that. Yo, let me just say this. Show Shell Anxiously just donated $50. Show Shell. Everybody go follow Show Shell. Subscribe to her YouTube page. I think it's Show Shell Anxiously. Please support the young lady. She just supported us. Let me get over here to Victoria.
Oh no.
Because you low-key religious, and I want people to call in that are struggling right now with this. Right? The number to dial is 323-230-4610.
That's
So-
the thing though, I don't really consider myself religious.
Speak on it then.
I definitely grew up religious.
Well, how's your relationship set up? Are you guys Baptist, Christian? Are you guys adhering anything?
Spiritual would be more of a definition of what my husband and I do. We don't, I'll be honest, I don't remember the last time I've gone to church. I do find personally organized religion tends to feel a little suffocating for me, mainly because people are not, it's not really a situation where people are willing to deal with questions, deal with trying to understand things.
If you can't, if you
do that.
listen, if you smart, you don't belong in church.
And see, that for me, that's where I am. I feel like there's, for one, in religions there tends to be too much judgment.
Say more.
It's easy.
Go deeper. Hold it above.
It creates a us versus them mentality. Like we're the ones who's right, you're the ones who's wrong, so you are the problem. I don't feel like that. I think there's so many questions that people aren't willing to answer or willing to look at, and you have so many people who are die hard for a religion that they don't even understand. You don't know the roots of your religion. You don't know how your religion came into being. You don't know where the books came from. You don't know where the practices came from. And how are you going to tell me that I need to follow this, something that you don't even understand? And that you're not willing to even try and learn and open your mind up to learn different things. Because, I mean, for me, I personally think religions have turned into something very different from what it may have started as. It is now a thing to control. It's now a thing to keep people in a certain position. And it's a power. It's a power play. And if you can control people's minds, then you can control their actions. And I'm sorry, I just have a thing where I'm just like, nothing against Christianity, nothing against anything like that. But I find it really interesting that so many black people in America don't question why we are Christian. You know, your whole culture
Girl,
and
you're going
religion
to
and
hell.
history,
You're going to hell.
but your
Don't
culture
ever,
and your
don't
religion and history were stolen from you and were wiped out when you became slaves. So you don't question why the only thing they were willing for you to learn was about Jesus in the Bible. You don't question how you were praying to the same God to release your bounds, but they're praying to the same God to keep you in bounds, and you don't wonder why that's an issue. You don't even question that mentality. So I mean, that's basically where my thoughts come from, and I just can't really deal with somebody who is not willing to learn and to question and to try and educate themselves about what it is that they believe, why they believe it, where it came from. And if after doing that research, if that's really what makes sense to you, I can't knock you. But that's just not me.
Wow. I love it. What makes you unequally yoked? Rachel!
Okay. Well, at first I want to start off.
You're a Mormon, aren't
No.
you?
No,
Okay.
definitely. It's definitely spiritual. And for the last few months, I've actually been going kind of back and forth. I had a problem with the Bible, honestly, for the last few months. So everything that I'm going on like spiritually, I was kind of going back because, and I found out that my problem actually is not the Bible. It is religion and religious people, because
Wait a minute, how could it not be the Bible?
Because
And
in a way, it's kind of there. So a big problem I had with the Bible was how much fear it strikes in our hearts as far as the devils and demons, and it does.
No, you know
And spiritually, I think it's us.
No, I got you.
God says, "Oh, I'm the beginning, I'm the end, I'm the Omega. Everything comes from me." And since we are godlike, which the Bible also says, right? Then I have the power to kind of shun that.
But you see the contradiction.
Well,
The contradiction in what you're saying. You're saying you're spiritual, but you're using the words of the Bible to validate your assertion of spirituality.
But that just started. I'm telling you, I was so disgusted with the Bible that I had to go back and start reading, like, what exactly, why are they saying what they are saying? So so again with the fear of devils and demons, and it's very much real. That's up to you. If you look for it, you'll find it.
You motherfucking right.
Right. So I write in the beginning, when God calls to Adam, he says, "Oh, like, where are you?" He says, "I'm hiding because I'm naked."
We doing scripture?
But hold on. But he says, who told you that? That was the question. Who told you that? Not, "Oh, your eyes are open and you are naked." So there are just certain. I do agree that it's like the way that it's written. It's a little ridiculous. And if religious people or Bible thumpers went and they researched more, if they took it a step further and actually really did deep, I think it's a great foundation. I think the Bible is a fine foundation, but you have to go further.
Fine people on both sides. Both sides.
So that's what I think.
Ah, this is great. Listen, call me if you're in an interfaithful relationship. How did you guys make it work? How are you raising your kids? If you're a Muslim and she's Christian, are you raising the kids Christian because that's my baby? You know, we get that in the hood. They my baby, nigga. They yours on Christmas when we need toys, but for the rest of the year, nigga, they my baby.
That's right.
Call us, 323-230-4610. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you're calling from? Speak on it. Turn your entire life down. Hello? Yeah, we got you. What's happening?
Zoe from Sheboygan, man. Just want to call in and offer an experience. Zoe, I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses once upon a time.
Oh, shit. Jesus. I
As
bet.
far as my relationships with black people. It skewed my viewpoint as far as the way I look at people, because everybody that I ran into post Jehovah's Witness were members of the church. And Jehovah's Witnesses, what they did a good job at doing is educating me, teaching me how to read, enlightening me on the Bible, and I have a lot of information into the Bible that a lot of people who represent the Bible don't have. So it became a conflict of interest with everybody that I met that didn't know Jehovah. And people would speak on their religions, but they didn't have like insight to the scriptures. They wouldn't verse. So it was always an argument, because people were like talking about things they knew nothing about as far as biblically. And, you know, it's difficult when you like go to that religion. So I don't think that it's a good idea to even try to date someone who isn't versed in the Bible if you are. That's just my opinion.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call. Let's dig deeper. What does it mean to be versed in the Bible? Is being versed in the Bible, does that mean reading the Bible?
Nope.
No.
I'd like to know. I want everybody's opinion. Tiff, talk!
Okay. Well, oh goodness, where do I stand?
Let's get your religious ass in here. Come on.
No, I feel very
Hallelujah.
comfortable saying that I have been released from dogmatic practice through my divorce. I'll say I think my divorce led me through like a spiritual journey that has been like that needed to happen for a really long time. So for a good portion of my life, I did this ugly dance with like my spirituality and my very real relationship with spirit and the dogma of Christianity. And so my understanding of being versed in the Word, which would be the Bible, most people when they say versed in the Word, they're referring to the Bible, is two things, like memorization of the Scripture. But the issue that I have with that situation is being versed in the Word, whether it's memorization of the Scripture or embodying the Word or practicing the Word or however you see it. One is that the Bible has over 300 translations.
Mm-hmm.
And
why?
So because man can rewrite it however they want when they want.
Go deeper.
So,
yes, that's where we are.
Someone told me, they're like, you can't make profit off the Bible. I'm like, you don't think these 15 top publishing companies across the world that have translated the Bible into over 120 languages and in 300 versions aren't making millions or billions of dollars? You're crazy.
Right.
So this is an
Right.
industry. Like
Right.
religion is an industry.
It
It's
is.
one of the top industries in the world. So when I said I was released from the dogma, I realized that a good portion of even the most spiritually embodied Christians that I know are unknowledgeable of the hypocrisy they walk in.
Yes.
And so for me, that was what really started working on my heart, which was the hypocrisy and even unyoked. So 1 Corinthians is where Paul talks about marriage the most,
Yes, this
right?
nigga.
And even there, it's hypocrisy. In one, you know, in 30 verses he spends talking about men and women, what a wife should be to a husband should be to a wife. Yes, there's equal verses. People always want to talk about a submissive wife, blah, 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 and forget the 30 verses he talks about what a husband's supposed to be. But
that doesn't really count.
the other hypocrisy is that he also then says later in Corinthians that a wife's belief can save a husband. That like you could maybe marry someone thinking they're a believer and they fall off, and your belief alone can save them. So it's kind of a hypocrisy in that whole like you should only marry someone you're equally yoked to, but what the hell does that even mean?
And I think it's really immature.
Yes.
It's spiritually immature to say we are only compatible if we think the same way.
Right.
But conversely, clinicians, relationship clinicians,
Yes.
right, will also say the opposites attract shit doesn't really work statistically.
Well, religiously, yeah, the
Like,
statistics say it doesn't
just the
work.
statistics will say people who think opposite really don't get along. They really don't. They might be attracted to each other, but that don't mean they're going to come together and be good for each other.
Right.
And in reverse, the ideal standards model tells us that if we share common beliefs,
Yes.
the relationship has a better chance of making it.
Mm-hmm.
So Christians are using the same philosophy with this particular Paul verse. Unequally yoked, if this motherfucker is of a different belief. But you two, Arlene and Tiff, touched on something very powerful, and that is ignorance.
Yeah, not understanding
Stupidity.
fully what that means.
Like,
Exactly.
Christians truly believe, just the way you said it, that the Word of God is in reference to the Bible.
Right.
But they don't speak no languages and they don't read any other book. So they don't know that the Muslims say Kalimullah, Kitabu Allah, the Word, the Book of God, the Word of God. They say the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but if you don't know that, you're running around thinking you got a monopoly on the Word.
Right.
I agree.
Fuckers. But then that's a point of contention. You're a Muslim. I don't think the way you guys don't think. They don't know Muslims, revere Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you ask a Muslim, who you waiting for to come to the Dome of the Rock during the rapture?
Right.
Oh, Isa ibn Maryam. Jesus the son of Mary. Muslims will tell you, we waiting on Jesus too.
Yep.
That's what they books say.
Exactly.
But if you're not studying, you don't know that.
But again, the key is studying outside the Bible, and that's where I really feel like a lot of Christians, when they come to me and they stop, or they have questions, or they're like,
That's evil.
whatever,
Sacrilege.
they're like, well, how do you know what you know, or why do you question that, or why do you think that? I'm like, well, because crazy enough is my mother-in-law was a woman of the word. Like, this woman is literally like that movie with Denzel Washington or whatever, what was the Book of Eli? Like, she could probably recite a good 90% of the Bible verbatim from top of the dome. Right, but that doesn't mean she's living this, and it doesn't even necessarily mean she understands the root word, the history of those words, like it, translated. Like she used to have me do the word study. She's like, she used to say, she's like, you're a scholar of the word, because I wouldn't just take the word. I was like, I'm going to read it in 15 different translations.
And I'm
going to go do the root word based search of it, find out what it meant back before it got translated 13 times, and see what this really means, because just taking it at what it is right now in the text, that's dumb. Like, you're not actually studying. And again, being a scholar means to study for yourself. And so, like, the difference between Catholicism and even Lutheranism, the only difference, they're like literally the same in the dogma, is that Luther said, you should be able to read this book for yourself. He still kept all of the dogma of the Catholic Church, just said, but you guys should at least have it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, then you should read it, and you should study it and be a scholar of it at least, and understand where it came from.
But it's just an idea. Can't fuck an idea.
But that's where I said
you can't be intimate with an idea.
No, and that's where for me, when the divorce made me realize unequally yoked really didn't mean same religion, and so I did a lot of studying around, like you said, not understanding the ideology, but the actual spiritual base of it is. Now I'm like, I could date a Muslim. Why? As long as their spiritual journey is similar. What did I realize I like about my practice in Christianity is that I'm consistent and diligent. So I am going to pray and meditate and give myself spiritual space to listen to and hear spirit and respond. And a lot of Muslims, that's what they're about, right? Diligent and consistency. If you're a Muslim and you're practicing a certain kind of way, I can get down with that. You're going to be over there praying 5 times a day. Awesome, because I'm going to be right over here doing my thing. I might not pray the same way as you and spend the same time.
You're not dealing with the common mindset.
No.
The common mindset is, all that praying you doing ain't going to save you. You still going to hell.
Exactly.
Let's deal with the judgment that's inherent in the belief of Christianity and most religions, the Abrahamic religions, because a lot of times Christians think we beating them up. Let's go Abrahamic, which covers Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all cousins in that religious belief system template. There's fear, there's judgment, there's condemnation in all of that shit. So can't that be, by believing in it, can't that be a relationship breaker? Just by default, you believe in it.
No, it is for most people, 100%. And I'll say I owned it. This is a maturity that I came across. My high school sweetheart who I was engaged to, I broke up with because he was not a Christian.
See.
And when I tell you, my church was so supportive of that. And they were like, okay, no one pressured me to. But the day I came to church and was like, we had just come back from a missions trip. And we were like heavy in prayer, and I like sat him down. I was like, I'm breaking up with you. And I went back to church the next day in tears, like, I did it. They were like 50 people deep hug, like, we got you. It's
Let's
okay.
pray.
God supports you.
And
You're gonna get a Christian man. But like now, he wasn't the one for me for other reasons. It's clear, and that was just a really good young people cop out, to be honest. But no, why would?
So the Christians are actively breaking up people's relationships, Mimi? Actively working as like a task force.
Well,
Let's get that nigga out of her life now.
Shoot. Well, I'm gonna say this: a lot of churches have a lot of drama behind closed doors. So I mean that could
Don't
actually,
we know?
Yeah, you know what I mean. That could be happening. They could be dating a pastor. A couple of them could be doing it. It could be so much hater within the women. It could be people on the front aisle got their book all highlighted up but don't even really know the word, and they're passing judgment on every person that comes through the door if they're not living the way they think they should live, and they don't even know them. So the whole thing about it is, at church, there's a lot of judgment. I personally don't like that. I mean, back in the day, I used to go to church a lot. I stopped going as much because of it, but I love God. I have my relationship with God. God has performed so many miracles for Michelle, for me, then it ain't no way in the world I can sit here and say nothing but that. But what I will
For me, for Michelle,
yeah, that's for me. You
Yes,
feel
girl.
me?
for what I do,
Right,
Yes,
you
girl.
feel me?
how I get down.
Right, but what
Shit.
God done for me, I ain't gonna play that game. But what I will let you know, it'll be drama up in these churches, and it is things that happen to make you have a bad taste in your mouth. To where if someone's trying to judge the church, they'll find so many fault in the church. But the thing about it, the church is a hospital. So you got some people with a cold, you got somebody else with pneumonia, you got somebody else got a heart attack, you got somebody else with a shot to the dome. And at the same time, everybody needs help. And they're too busy looking at what the other person needs instead of providing the love that should be in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the problem. So there's problems within the churches, but there's problems within the people in general, in the church and out the church. We as a whole need help.
Wow, to get to the phone lines right now, 323-230-444610. Excuse me, 323-230-4610. 323-230-4610. Call us right now. Are you in an unequally yoked relationship? True or false? Being equally yoked is not meant to inhibit our dating lives. We can still date multiple people. Can we?
Can we?
I don't believe in none of that shit, so I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. People always ask me, what's your religious beliefs, though? I say I'm a graduate. I'm a postgraduate of religion.
I mean, you are, son.
I've studied all of that shit all around the world. And what I find is a lot of people want to justify believing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you what knowledge does. It makes you responsible.
Mm-hmm.
See, belief and faith allows you to put it on someone else. Oh, you're not ready for your godhood. Let me keep going. Callers! You're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Mark from California, how are you? What's happening, man? What's going on?
Hello.
So listening to the conversation a little bit,
Word.
really interesting. I think like two important points are the person in question that you're with, like how does religion function in their life? Because some people like are religious like very casually, and they don't really. And some people are like really die hard about it. So I think that kind of like dictates like how the relationship will go.
I could smoke a bag of that. Say more. You're pretty interesting yourself. Keep going.
I mean, I know with my personal experience, like I used to be like more Christian, and I was having a lot of spiritual problems in my life, and I remember going to my church to try to see if I could get some assistance with different things that I felt like were going on with me spiritually, and so at that time, like my relationship to it was like very strong and like very convicted, and like it kind of shaped how I like view reality in a way.
Of course.
I think that if anybody's in that state where like religion is shaping how they see things and like just like how they perceive the way that things are, then like that could definitely interfere in a relationship, because they might, like you were talking about the judging aspect, they might think that the person that they're with is like evil or any kind of thing like that, depending on what their religion prescribes, you know?
Hey, I appreciate that. That was good information. Jeez, thanks for the call, bro. You underdig? Listen, you don't get to come into a relationship with me and be on some judgment.
Right. I'm good on that.
Off tops.
And I think that's definitely the problem with religion. You were just saying how you study different religions and Bibles. And the funny thing is, I feel like they're all working towards the same thing, and each one has something that I could actually commend. But once you stop and realize that you are actually doing the opposite and shunning someone out because they're not the same belief as you, even though you're working towards the same damn thing, once you leave that behind, I think that's the transition from religion to spirituality.
Wow. I love it. True or false? Intimacy is impossible without spiritual unity. I I think that is true.
I do too.
I think that is true, and I think that don't have shit to do with religion.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
You got religious people, dogmatic, idealistically, ideologically regimented, people who really think they're spiritual.
Yes.
You're not spiritual.
Right.
Right.
Spirit doesn't have a system.
Right.
I know, listen, I know niggas be looking at me like, what the fuck? Look up, you guys hear me talk about this all the time, Krishnamurti,
Yeah.
right? Look up Krishnamurti's famous speech. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. I love doing this kind of stuff live on the air. Do it right now. Go to your websites, your desktops, do it right now, right? What was the name of that speech? Krishnamurti's famous speech. Freedom from the known. What was it? I don't remember.
I'm like, Sarah's not here. She would know.
No,
We should tweet her.
No, she would not know.
You don't think so?
No, she might actually.
I was
She
gonna say, I
probably
feel
would
like
know.
she might know.
No, she would know. Truth is a pathless land.
There we go.
Famous speech. No, Sarah would know for sure.
See, I'm gonna tweet her later now. Watch.
Right? Truth is a pathless land. If you've never read that speech, it's an amazing speech. Let me tell you what happened. When Krishnamurti was 11 years old, two weird-ass white people who were in India usurping some other people's culture, because they're English, and India was part of the crown
Yeah.
during that time, under English rule and occupation. Well, they so motherfucking caught up on Indians' belief system, Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, all of the deeper Eastern philosophies. Well, they discovered this lady named Madame Blavatsky. A lot of Christians hear about her. Oh, she's in a cult. She was a witch. No, what she was doing was spiritual cultural appropriation. She was organizing all of our shit, all of our ancient shit, because it's all ours. And she was organizing it into a secret society for them called the Theosophical Society. The Theosophy, Theos, God, Sophie, the wisdom of God, Theosophy. Right? This is the shit Hitler and all them niggas was into. The Thule Society, they was into these higher spiritual belief systems. That really belonged to black people.
Right.
Right.
So these two white folk, Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbeater, weird names, out here on the beach, they see an impoverished Krishnamurti as a 14-year-old boy with his brother Nitya. I think his brother Nitya was like 11 or some shit, or 9 or something. They see them, and according to what they extrapolated from the ancient Eastern manuscripts, because the Buddhists, they have a Messiah too, right? Called the Lord Maitreya. So they were like, there he is. His aura is so pure, he must be the vehicle for the Lord Maitreya. Do you know these white people took him? Now his daddy worked for them. He worked for the Theosophical Society. So they negotiated some kind of deal with the daddy to get Krishnamurti and his little brother. Well, white people now. You see how white people operate?
They want it, they take it.
Exactly.
It's a boy. I want him.
Exactly.
Like it's a monkey or a puppy
I
or
was
some
gonna say,
shit.
my little pet.
Yeah.
He's fucking special. Let's have
Let's
him.
get it.
Right.
Lord Jesus.
Dad didn't feel cool, but they was in abject poverty.
Right.
So the Theosophical Society is balling. Take care of all that. We got you, my nigga. We got Yaper for this whole situation, nigga. You have curry every night, dog. It's good. Just give us the kids. Do you know they took that man's children and he didn't see them? I think it was for, put it this way, they came back as adults. I think it was like 9 years.
Damn.
They took them to England, London.
So you can make money off of
They
it.
went to the best schools, went everywhere, and they saw Krishnamurti as a messiah. Saw him as a messiah. So he is believing what they're telling him because he's a kid.
Right.
But he's also still disconnected from them in a way. Like, this shit ain't right.
Yeah.
Something's off.
Right.
This is weird. So basically, they become adults. Motherfuckers is given, they start an order for him. All these thousands of 100,000 people join this order. What is it? The Order of the Star in the East. He 13 teaching niggas. Right? Believing all the shit they telling him. Right? The Ascended Masters and Kuthumi will come through you and you're the vehicle and will deliver some high information. All this kind of shit, right? No different from Jehovah's Witness and Mormonism and all this other shit. Right?
True.
So, peep gang. This dude finally gets to a certain age where he already had discontent growing in him anyway.
Right.
Right? He gets to a certain age. But he still trusts them. He still fuck with them. And because his mother had already died before they came and scooped him up, he became really close with the lady Annie Besant. He even called her mom.
Ooh.
You understand? Some white lady. But he didn't want to break her heart. You understand? He didn't want to hurt her. But he had to tell her, like, I don't fuck with this shit.
Right.
You know, at some point it came down to that.
Yeah.
But this is when it came down to it. His brother got sick with tuberculosis. When I tell you niggas was giving this man castles, rich barons. Here's a castle and 5,000 acres of land. And, you know, he was getting all types of shit. You know, dig?
Sounds like Scientology a little bit.
Then the guys moved to Ojai. They bought a house in Ojai. The house in Ojai is still there. It's still there. It's a library now. You can go there right now. It's an inn. You can stay there.
Crazy.
Read his books and chill. You know, you and your husband should go check it out.
That sounds interesting.
It's
It
dope.
does. It sounds like
Really-
a dope bed
It's
and
fucking
breakfast.
dope.
Yeah.
It's a bed and breakfast. It's dope. In Ojai. Man, the brother got sick, and then he get a message from the Theosophical Society. Yo, you got to come speak at these, you know. And back then, you traveled by boat, by ship. He was like, but my brother's sick. I'm not leaving. They was like, nah, this is your role. You are the world teacher. You are the Messiah, and you must be there. No, my brother is sick. I'm not leaving. Your brother will be fine. The Ascended Masters say he will be okay.
Oh my
Lying
goodness.
asses.
As soon as he stepped foot on that boat, his brother died.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
And that's when he had some type of spiritual epiphany. And do you know what he did? It fucked these white people up because they needed something to believe in. This motherfucker went there, and that's when he unleashed that speech. Truth is a pathless land. Now, this is some shit that was already welling up in him already. But he broke it down. Nobody can judge the quality of your spirit.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell you how developed or not developed you are spiritually.
Right.
He said, whatever path you on is your truth.
Right.
Truth is the pathless land. It's too many paths to truth. I can't say this one's right, that one's wrong. And he disbanded everything and renounced everything and gave back every cent. Houses, acres, take all that shit. Get up out of here. I'm done. But you know what that did? That made white people worship that nigga even more. Made white people follow him even
They're
more.
like, you don't want money and riches and things. This is supposed to be real spirituality.
Right?
Hey,
Right?
yo,
Money.
this motherfucker spoke and lectured for the next 60 years, nonstop traveling all over the world, setting up schools. It's a pathless land. So many times we so invested in what we want to get out of the relationship that we're not really listening. See, if I can experience God in you, I don't need the book. I don't need the temple. I don't need the belief.
Right.
I don't need none of that shit. I got God in you.
Right.
But I can't have God in you until I have God in me.
Right.
Like, I got to see God in me first, and that's what's going to make it recognizable in you.
Namaste.
That's what namaste actually
Yes.
means.
I know.
Yes.
But you got niggas running around here saying namaste.
Not
And have
understanding
no
it.
understanding.
Got a t-shirt
Nothing.
and really know what the definition is, but don't have the experience of namaste.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going to stay over here.
But everything you just described is a spiritual person, so that still means that I wouldn't be able to be in a relationship with a religious
A
person.
dogmatic, a religious person, correct.
But I believe it's the opposite. Most people claim that they're spiritual, but they're really not.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Also
I agree
agree.
with that.
I totally agree.
I think being in a religious relationship is easier than being in a spiritual one.
Oh, so I agree with that, because at least then you feel like as long as you follow these rules,
Yeah.
then that dictates how the relationship goes. But I think the issue with that, as someone who like lived that little life,
Live
for-
that little
I
life.
lived that little
That's
life.
literally what it is.
I
Why you
lived
so
that little
silly?
life. The issue is if one or both of you transcends the dogma at any point. So like if you both are just sticking to that dogma your whole life, it will tell you when to pray, it will tell you when to go to church, how to go to church, when to read, when not to read, what you pray for, what you don't pray for. It can and will dictate your life if you both stay on that path. But then the issue is if at some point one or both of you decide like, ooh, there's more than just this dogma, this system, that's where the hiccups come.
Well, you know, everything you just said, well, when to go to church, when to do this, when to pray, I think people need that. They need their hands held. And people are so scared to realize that we are gods. We are God-like. Like, this doesn't, I have my own journey that I will figure out.
Right.
I mean, they're so busy reading the Bible, but they forget the whole thing about the kingdom of God is within you. But they forget that part.
And
Yeah.
They can't forget it. They just don't know what to do with it.
And that's why I'm saying, like, it's there, but no one goes and does more research.
Exactly. That's to me.
That's the problem. With
That's the
religions.
problem is that they don't even understand. Like someone who is very into the Bible, but you don't even understand where the books of the Bible came from.
Bible
You don't
authors, yeah.
exactly. You don't even understand, you know, how those books were chosen. Why were those chosen for a specific reason? What was the purpose of that? There's a purpose in all of that, and they don't understand. So how are you going to say this is what you believe in when you're really spouting off verses, but you're not, that doesn't mean you have an understanding.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
mean you don't know how to apply. That doesn't mean you have a critical understanding or thinking process of what it is you're reading.
Wow.
Anybody can say what they read. Anyone can say this is what that is.
Anybody
this is
can
what-
regurgitate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But are you actually understanding? Are
And
you
that's all the
researching?
pastor does too. He just sits up there and just goes, look at Revelation.
Right.
And then
Mimi,
that's it.
Mimi,
Yes, sir.
Mimi.
Yeah, so.
Horudabasha.
Bashata.
Bachata ratabakata bachata.
But you know what's sad is with people, I think people always need something to believe in or look to. Like I told you, I think a few shows ago, I had a friend, we used to pray together years ago, and I thought it was strictly on a platonic brotherly sisterly friendship
Nah.
prayer, and it never was. Like
It was pussy prayers. That's what he had.
And the whole thing is every relationship thing that I would tell him about, because I actually thought he was like a brother, so I would share what was going on with me, as we do sometimes. And he was, oh, you shouldn't be with that person, and I'm going to pray about that. But he was praying the wrong thing. You got to watch who praying for you, because they be praying the wrong thing. You be thinking they praying for you, but they really praying for your dismay. You feel me? And so he was praying for my dismay as far as relationship was concerned. So one day, it was his birthday, we went to Twin Dragon. I think I told you guys this, and then the next day he hit me up. He was like, you know, I just love you. I'm like, okay, brother, you know, but he was letting me know that he didn't mean love like the normal friendship thing. He was interested. And from that point on, I didn't even talk to him anymore. I told him that I was disappointed, that you used this friendship in vain, I don't like you that way. So every time I had you tell me about my man, you gave me bad advice, bad opinions, and you prayed against my relationship. Therefore, we're no longer cool. And he kept calling me. I said, oh no, call my daddy. I said, tell him to stop calling me. My daddy checked him. So
See, if you want
He
the
was a
girl,
spiritual satellite. That's what he was.
if you want the girl, you got to go through her papa. See,
yeah.
that's how you get the girl.
Right, yeah, because he knew my daddy in church. So he was trying to be nice to me and my daddy.
Oh, see, that
Wow.
don't work in my family.
Well, we're talking about church, baby.
Yeah.
We everybody's amen and hallelujah at
Yeah.
church. So they were like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like somebody I bring home. It wasn't that type of party. It
Yeah.
was somebody at church trying to befriend the
Oh, yeah.
churchiness of it.
The ch-
It's
Listen, let's get this caller on here real quick. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it. Bowman, hey, let me just say this. Houston,
Yes.
I don't fuck with religion, but I believe in prayer, and we are praying for Houston.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All right, y'all be safe out there. We are
Please do.
praying for Houston. Speak
Yes,
on it,
we
brother.
are.
Yes, amen.
I'm not in a relationship right now, but when I was in a relationship with my ex-fiance, there were times where, I tried to introduce, just scripture to build up a spiritual base with her. And she would constantly swipe away the Bible that I was holding and just sit on my lap and make me put more time into her
Was she-
automatically. It was kind of like a selfish act,
Huh.
of me giving her attention more than what I would spiritually wise. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of these women out here, they don't care about spirituality or religion. And it's very unfortunate. Some of them just care about, getting what they can out of the man instead of actually what they can out of the relationship and building.
I would say that.
Hey,
I agree with that.
anytime you want to call in and tell on some trifling motherfuckers, you can do that. Call in anytime, brother. I appreciate that call. Thank you. 323-230-4610. That's the number to dial. Man, that's crazy. Is he right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's people, though. I don't think
Say
that's
more.
That's people who do that. That's not specifically women. That's not specifically men. That's people who have a selfish desire for something out of the relationship that's not the relationship. So I mean, I think that you can't really just say, "Oh, that's." They have women out there who are like that. No, they got people out there who are like
But
that.
he illustrates a perfect point.
Mhm.
And that is, most people are one-dimensional in their
A lot
experience
people are
of reality.
one-dimensional.
Right.
Because the
Yeah.
thing is that people do not critically think. They don't think anything through. They don't have a they have a lack of ability of understanding. They have a lack
Wow.
of, so I mean, how are they going to have these type of relationships?
Mimi?
But I was gonna say, when he said the woman got on top of him, I can recall when I was with my kid's father, and that's when my dad would have me go to church with him all the time. My kid's father would be so mad. He would say, "You're not gonna make me breakfast. You putting the church people before me." And it really wasn't that, but sometimes it's interesting. It depends on the person and your experience, because that doesn't sound like something that a man would do, but at the same time, that is what happened. And he was very upset about it because he felt like I was spending time away from him and going to church. He didn't want to go, so therefore he goes now. Though that's the thing about life. You don't know what people are going
You
to
don't
do.
know
Your
where
life
they
can
end up.
change, and you don't know who you'll turn into. But at the end of the day, he was against it. So I get what the caller was talking about, because people will try to stop you. That's why I said if someone doesn't have goals or things like that, they will try to stop you.
So you do know that the alt-right, most of the alt-right, are conservative and religious. Number one.
Right.
Number two, Bush, George W.
Yeah.
Bush, ran on a Christian conservative campaign and sucked up a gang of black churchgoers.
Yeah.
See how religion makes different races stupid?
Yeah.
Don't matter what color you is. If you believe in that shit, you wind up making dumb choices.
Right.
Yes.
Mimi, then Tiff.
Well, I was just going to say that's like a blanket on a lot of things. I mean, that's just like if someone is gay, they got gay rights and they believe in that group of thoughts. If they're Christian and they see something that the Christians are doing, they might follow that. If they're, believe in some type of African heritage, so white supremacy, whatever a person believes in, and this group is saying let's do, people are more or less to follow that group. So I only said that to say, even though the Christians did follow, I believe that's what most people do. You know what I'm saying? They follow the group unless they're the person that's the rebel in the group. Like, I'm not
Well,
going
the
to do
thing
X.
is-
Well, what's the African American sister's problem? She make up 85% of the church. And then if you ask most of the sisters, they say they spiritual. Well, why all y'all in church if you're spiritual?
Right.
Right.
Tiff and then Mimi.
Well, so a few things. Back to the whole like believing thing. Again, the alt-right makes me frustrated because they just demonstrate what not lack of critical thinking is. Because they're the same people who are anti-abortion but pro the death sentence. So I'm like, you don't want to kill babies, but you want to kill adults. Okay. So I'm like, deal with that. So yeah, so it's a lack of critical thinking skills on that part. And then like you've warned before, though, like be careful what group you subscribe to, because then you have to follow those rules, and you're held to those expectations. So that's why I very lightly say like I'm Christian anymore, and it's not because I don't believe in Jesus and His blood and saving me and all of that, but it's because I don't subscribe to the standard Christian dogma. I don't. And so, like, saying Christian is like, oh, I'm a Christian. People then are like, oh, so did you do this? Did you do that in your marriage? And what's funny is I lived that dogma in my marriage, but now I'm released from my marriage and I refuse to live that dogma because my spirit has grown. Yeah. So, but then back to, like, what the caller was saying, and this happens a lot, and this would be a red flag for me. People are narcissistic and they want to be worshipped.
Oh, yeah.
And so, especially people who lack actual spirit, whether they're religiously dogmatic or atheist or just the no belief in general, they want you to worship them. And so you putting any time in anything outside of them, whether it's your career or spirituality, that makes, because a lot of them are insecure, that's what it is. They want you to worship them. So that girl climbing on your lap, when you try to give her some kind of truth or enlightenment or whatever, scripture, just shows that she was uncomfortable with you sewing into any other ideas but her.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's a huge red flag to me. I would rather sit there like, the friend that took me to Dubai or whatever, he's Muslim, and a good portion of our conversations are about being Muslim.
You going to hell?
No, it's awesome. I love these conversations. You know, like he would stop and go to prayer, and we had Christian Somali friends that were there, and then we had Muslim, like Kenyan friends that were there, and like everything in between, and we'd have different conversations about what that looked like, interfaith marriages and all of that, even in, you know, conflict countries like Kenya and Somalia. So, like, to have that experience, to have those conversations was really beneficial. I'd rather you educate me on what you understand from the Quran and what I understand of the Bible and put them together. Because that was really, when you're willing to listen, you're able to hear the similarities versus just the differences.
And I think that's the very first step of spirituality, when you're ready to listen.
Yes.
Mimi, y'all just jumping in.
Yes.
They don't let me point.
There was one little comment
I was just going to chime in and say, you know, I've had a lot of hurts through Christianity, through churches, with people, but I just feel like we think when we go there that everyone there is going to be perfect because you walk into a church. Again, there is a hospital. So that same person that's doing me wrong has their own baggage or luggage that's full of all type of gory things that they're hiding behind the hat and the church dress. You don't know what those things are. All you know that's Sister Patricia, and she sure know how to praise dance. You don't know her story. So sometimes on some real stuff, like they can be living it up real hard, you know, dancing hard, but really their heart is not all the way right because they're still dealing with things themselves. So I've been hurt in church and made me walk away, but I still have my relationship with God, and I know what He does for me. But I do know that you can get really hurt in church. There'll be people trying to get with your man in church. They'll be plotting on the pastor. They'll be plotting on you. They be hating. And it happened to me in a major way. One time I left church, I'll never forget it. The lady made me so mad. I was telling my daughter, I said, you know what? I almost want to go back. And I turned the car around and went back up to the church. I was almost there. My daughter said, don't let the devil get in. And I said, you're right.
Mimi.
The point,
Lord.
I wasn't going to shoot up. I was not going to do that. All I was going to
shoot up the church.
I was just going to pull her to the side and ask her to, you know, repeat.
You gonna pull her by her weave?
She's about to take off those earrings. Take off these
I was
heels.
going to say, check this out. I know you know me in the church one way, but hey, you about to do this other
Yeah,
side.
it
You
is.
feel me?
Let me just say this though.
Oh, Lord.
Let me say this about that. You said church is a hospital,
It is.
It's supposed to be.
but so is a madhouse.
Right. You're right. You're right.
And for most people, church is full. It's a madhouse. This is a nutcase.
Yeah.
It's nutcases in there trying to figure it out.
Right.
Somebody's on the line. Caller, you're in here. What's your name and where you calling from? Jack from Honolulu. What up, man? You're in an interfaithful relationship?
It started off that way, but I'm more geared towards religion or spiritual, and she's still on religious, and we haven't discussed that yet. So,
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you and the ladies this real quick. Does all of the religious guidelines and rules get in the way of the kinky?
No.
Not at all.
Well, it doesn't apply to my life. I'll just say that.
Okay, the scripture does say, also in that very long portion of the of 1 Corinthians that Paul's talking about stuff. Oh wait, is he done? Okay.
He's gone?
Oh, poor.
Okay, we got you, bro.
Yeah, about how like it very specifically says that your duty to your husband, the duty of a husband is to meet the wife's needs as well as the wife to meet the husband. So that's kind of like the scripture I used in my relationship to make sure like we're meeting each other's needs, right? So it was like my libido is high. I'd be like, God said.
But see,
like, not
but
God,
that's what
but Paul
I'm saying. To
said.
me, that's kind of like a perversion.
Oh, I damn well knew it was.
I'm saying you can also use it as a way to get out.
True.
Because you're not meeting my needs.
Oh, yeah. I never thought that way.
Oh my God, my brother did that to a girl.
Oh, did what? Tell me.
Oh my God. So he was dating a girl. And
We're going to come back to you,
Jack.
Jack. We got you, bruh.
Okay. So my dad, my brother was dating an older woman, and she was paying like she weighed. And I guess that was their arrangement.
Pay like you weigh.
Pay like you weigh.
Ooh.
So she went and got his name tattooed on her chest. It was all on the wall.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. So he wanted to, she wanted to get some, and he didn't want it. So he told her that he was waiting on God, and he had to get married first before he did that, because he wanted to do it right this time and not make any more mistakes. But he loved her, and she went for that, and was paying like she was wearing.
Jack,
Oh my.
your final thoughts on this?
first of all, my libido is high, my wife is not, so that's another issue for another day. But my last thing was, people don't graduate from religion to spirituality because they're afraid. You have to look at. You're going to see all the shit that's in you that you got to deal with.
Right.
And people don't want to deal with that.
Right. I can smoke a bag of that. Hey, man, we appreciate the call. We got to keep it pushing. Thank you so much for reaching out consistently.
I would say, Jack, you should start slipping maca powder in her smoothies in the morning. Just saying.
Hey, that maca powder
is the business.
Get that monkey.
I'm going to tell you right now, that maca powder.
I gave it to my mama. I gave it to my mama.
So I said, where you get that from?
Whole Foods, girl, go ahead. Order it
It's
on
for
eBay,
dudes.
Amazon. It's for both sexes. It's a stamina enhancer, okay? I thought it was for sports performance. It's not just for sports performance.
I bet you did.
I can't take it no more. I was just so
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Dwayne from Ohio. What's happening, pimp?
By this time, I don't consider myself to be religious or spiritual. My wife is definitely on the religious tip. I let go of all of that once I realized how it got in place to our people. Since then, I pretty much put that entire book down. So, and at this point, if I do pick it up, it's just to refute the claims that people say that they abide by. As far as it being a distraction or some kind of barrier for the relationship, a barrier can only exist if two people allow it. And so that's pretty much universal for anybody.
Man, way to drop bombs. That's what I want. Get in, get out. Jab, jab, jab. Jab to the body, jab to the head. Left hook, right hand. Get out. That was quick, man. That was quick work.
He didn't play.
I like that. A lot of people put that belief before the bond.
Yes.
I always tell people the bond is what make you guys a relationship. You think it's the belief. The belief is the icing on the cake. It ain't the cake.
Right.
People think that that's the foundation, but it's not.
Right.
The spirit is the foundation. The union of two souls that recognize each other as the same. That's the foundation. The what do we believe in? What school we go to, where we work, how we raise our kids. These are ideological, sociological templates. You could even say this is a type of conditioning.
Yes. Yeah. Social conditioning. for
Yes. But the bond is more powerful than the belief. But here's the trick bag of the belief. Once you believe in some shit, you manifest it.
sure. Yes.
Even if it's bullshit. Oh, God. Somebody better quote that. I'm sorry. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Man, what's happening, AZ? What's the deal? Underdig, this is me. Whoop, foothill, you underdig. Continuation, you had to get it done.
I just turned 62 a few days ago.
Word.
And the topic of religion I saw was up here on your screen. I said, well, let me chime in. There was a church over on Lake Boulevard, right above Washington. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I joined there once and realized that religion wasn't for me. Our people are pretty stuck in this religious mode of understanding without any understanding. It's really unfortunate.
Wow. And you're right about it.
Yeah.
You just following it because you are conditioned to do so. And then it has more of a say and more of an imprint on your relationship than the truth of who you are. Of course.
The line. Are you familiar with how to download the Tetragrammaton?
You download it like a computer software or a spiritual download? Right. There's new science and technology out there that are saying we live in a simulation anyway. So higher knowledge held in another dimension, when they talk about multiple dimensions, this is where the Akashic records are stored. The Akashic records is basically the repository of all information, all spiritual knowledge, all consciousness. They call it the Akashic records. The Sumerians called it the Tablets of Destiny. The ancient Taoist and Buddhists called it the I Ching. Right?
Last pieces I did was a piece on John Brown. It was a 15-minute piece. And at that time, I didn't know that that piece went to the Hollywood executives so they could take a look. To make a long story short, do you remember the movie E.T.?
Yeah. With a Texas Instrument machine. With that Texas Instrument speak and spell. He called it back with that. He made a phone out of it with an umbrella.
Right, I was like, he just described the whole thing, sorry.
Oh
In the
no.
air. And it lit up.
E.T. E.T. found home. E.T. found home.
To that here in Arizona about 7 years ago. Time, I didn't know that I was doing my ET call home. Since then, people here in this state are making it very apparent to me that I did an ET call home, and they're not appreciative of that. What I'd like to do, though, is get your email address and show you the photos of exactly what I'm talking about.
Hold on, pimp. You're not finna get me pulled into an investigation. No, I'm No, seriously, I'd like to see. My email is VOR106@gmail.com. Show me some shit.
106 in Park.
Yeah. Well, listen, it better not be no nudes of you, dog.
That's my disclaimer. Don't
That's the only thing that's gonna piss me off. Fuck.
I called home with my.
Come on, man. Yes, good dude. Decoder.
That we do or don't do is everything. No, let me put it this way: we do everything the white boy tells us to do, especially in terms of school. What was the one thing they told us not to do because if we do, we'll go blind?
Look in the sun.
Look at the sun.
Now there are a lot of people today who are sun gazing. I happened to do it one day, only because there was another brother by the name of Dr. Delbert Blair who said if you take a photograph of the sun, you'll see a second sun behind it. Well, I did that too, and lo and behold, he was right. I didn't believe him at first, but once I did my photos and did what's called an internet or out here with this new digital equipment, you can take a regular photograph and then put it in different forms. You can change the contrast. Well, when you change the contrast, the energy in the photo itself, if it's black on the changing of the internet, then that is literally energy. Make a long story short, I did the sun gazing, have been sun gazing ever since. Met my wife 7 years ago, had her doing it, and we've been at it for a while.
Hey,
so,
hey, y'all not blind yet?
are literally, those lights literally are something you can see after you've done your sun gazing. If you're doing it correctly, I don't suggest anyone go out in the middle of the day, mid-afternoon, and try to sun gaze, even though I can do it then too. I would suggest anyone, if they're getting started, try to do it first thing in the morning, or when the sun rises, or when the sun's setting. But lo and behold, it really does work. It really does bring in the chakras. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to see these people talk about, oh, I'm trying to get my chakras in line. And well, the way you get your chakras in line is to do what a lot of us have been taught not to do. And then, besides, they always said that in the end times, people won't be looking up.
Okay.
A lot of us don't look up now.
All right, brother. I appreciate the call. You dropped enough. The people have enough. They haven't had enough. That's enough. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The people done had enough now. Let them up. What was that? It was like a call from Jarrell.
It was.
The son of Kal-El. You know, Jesus, okay. It was deep. I believe in all that shit, but I'm a skeptic of everything.
True.
You have to have a healthy... and that's the thing that bothers me about religion. It doesn't allow you to be a skeptic of it.
Right, because when people say you're not a true follower or believer, you're not being faithful, you're like, or I can still faithfully question.
To me, skepticism is inherently intelligent.
Yes.
Exactly.
You feel me? And religion is like, you can't be skeptical of this. There's just too much weird shit in religion, or nonsensical shit. Like, to me, the very concept of God being jealous is stupid.
Right.
The concept of God testing you, stupid.
What? Right.
Like, omnipotent? Omniscient?
Yes.
Exactly.
Omniscient? All-knowing? All-powerful? Still needs to do diagnostics? Get the okay. I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm down. Like, I believe God exists.
Right.
See, scientists don't want to call it God, but they know it's real.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Because you can't probe that deep into reality and not find God.
Right.
And see, they did that. But they do it, or they've done it on some destructive shit.
Yes.
Like building the atomic bomb.
bombs.
So understand this about, first off, they didn't even think the atom existed. And then Einstein and Niels Bohr and some other people found out, okay, this shit does exist. But what they found was, inside, the deeper you go into the fucking atom, the more powerful shit becomes.
Yeah.
So the nucleus of the atom is what? What did they say? 10 million, some crazy scale smaller than the atom. But the power in that motherfucker is crazy. Sounds like what Jesus said.
Yes.
With the strength of a mustard seed, you can move mountains.
Right.
Wow. Well, that's there. So
That's what I'm
the
saying.
smaller the
It's
shit
there,
get, the more powerful it becomes.
Exactly.
That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying I believe God is real.
Yes.
I just don't believe the way God is packaged
Exactly.
and sold. Like somebody was talking about Nike. Nike, their industry is shoes.
Yes.
The church's industry is God, but on a deeper level, the church's industry is farming your belief.
Yes.
Because I need to control how and what you believe in
Yeah.
so I can stay wealthy. If you ever knew what the fuck I knew, and then knew how to apply what I knew,
You all.
oh shit,
Of
you wouldn't
course.
need me. You wouldn't need to come here. So when you say people need something to believe in, I think sometimes that's really putting us in a trick bag.
It is.
I mean, religion in this country, well, all over, it's a billion-dollar industry.
We're gonna
More
make
than
that
that,
money.
it's like trillion.
Oh,
yeah.
You
The
look at-
Vatican is one of the richest sovereign places.
One of
Exactly.
the richest.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's the richest it is.
And I mean, look at people like, and I hesitate to even say his name because people get really upset, but like Joel Osteen.
Joel
I'm like,
Osteen.
Osteen. Okay, but homie has money to where he could help eliminate poverty.
Well, he just closed down his church because of flooding.
One of his churches.
One of his
main
churches.
church.
One of them, yeah.
The
I
host
mean,
church, yeah.
There's so much.
We're
that,
praying for you guys.
Yes, we are.
That's what he said on his Twitter. Victoria and I are praying for everyone affected by the Hurricane Harvey. Please join us as we pray
But he's a
for
good
the
example that, like,
safety
he's a pastor
of
that
our
doesn't.
Texas
Oh, sorry.
friends and family.
Oh, he wasn't done. Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, what I was gonna say is the interesting part. Like Joel Osteen's a good example of like the money in his in church is so strong that like he's a pastor that doesn't take a salary from his church anymore because he makes so much money from the books and the recordings. Like he has individual wealth outside of his church, so he doesn't have to make money from his church anymore.
But
Like,
that's
if that
still
makes sense.
technically a part
No,
of his church.
it's that's to show you how strong that money is. Like so
Yeah.
many people like. Well, like black churches get messed up because like those pastors are legitimately funneling money from the church and they haven't quite learned again what the white guy already has. Like if I really got this money right, I
But
can,
don't you guys
I can
understand-
swindle you for your Christian money without it even going through my church.
But
Because
don't-
churches are technically nonprofits. We're supposed to be able to see everything they do. Whereas Joel Osteen was like, but I can get this without going through the church.
But I think you guys are missing something. I think you guys are just
Money.
missing something altogether. These people have created an intellectual niche to stay in your pocket.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They had some woman, I forgot what her name was, but she was selling prayer seeds.
They're selling prayer
For like,
cloths, prayer
yes,
water.
like $150 per prayer seed. And I'm like, what?
Somebody said they buy
It's just-
tickets to get into Joel Osteen's church.
Wow. I didn't know that. I've never
Maybe
heard
for
that.
special events, I didn't know that either. That's crazy.
That's
Wow.
Well, also because Joel Osteen and who Creflo Dollar and what's his face TD Jakes are all considered pastors to pastors. So they have like semi-annual pastors conferences where literally they pastor other pastors because you know pastors are still sheep, so they're supposed to tithe as well. So they tithe to other pastors, and so like TD Jakes,
see the
Creflo
hustle?
Dollar, Joel Osteen, they're also pastors to other pastors. They're receiving seeds from other churches. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's how they keep the money flowing.
I'm about to say,
Pastors
that
give money
sounds-
to other pastors.
That sounds like a very intelligent racket.
That shit sounds
It's
like the hustle for
pyramid
real.
scheme of
Of
the
of
original,
yes,
the original
that is-
template.
Exactly.
And I'm not against it because the real concept of the church was supposed to be. I mean, I'm not pro the Catholic Church necessarily, but they're still the ones doing it closest to the structures. It is supposed to be the hospital of society. Like, you are supposed to really, at its purest form, go to the temple, go to the church, go to the synagogue if you need money, if you need food, if you need a nurse, if you need whatever. That was its original intention.
You mean
So-
like the people who are in Houston right now who
Should be able to go to
need
the church.
The
Right.
church.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
Like, if you really were following,
Well, he said the church is flooded.
so you can't go there.
So
You
you
could go
can't
somewhere
go.
else. Yeah.
Right.
But
So-
he has, 32 other, like, sister churches in the U.S. that should be sending money in relief. You should be able to pull up on one of those churches.
Should be.
Yeah.
Wow. Does it matter in terms of how you raise your kids? I want to raise my kids. I mean, my kids are damn near grown, actually.
Yes.
Son is 20, daughter will be 18. My youngest will be 16, so they're pretty much grown. But I've always raised them with a balanced mind in terms of this shit is like this, and this is why it's like that. Now, you can choose to fuck with this shit if you want to,
Right.
but I don't fuck with it because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
And no matter what you do, go do your research.
Do
No
your
matter-
shit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
study everything, prove everything.
Exactly.
Somebody said the church isn't flooded, Zoe. Can somebody get down there and get a camera on it?
we want to see if Joel Osteen's
Yeah,
church is
somebody
flooded or not.
saying TD Jakes'
Jesus.
church is out there too. They said the church isn't flooded. I don't know if the church is flooded or not. I just know it's being reported that he shut the church down and he came under fire for it. And he was basically saying the church is flooded too. That's why it's shut down. Maybe he didn't want a bunch of people in there. I don't know. But that's what the church, to me, that's what the church is supposed to do.
Yeah, it should be like the Superdome.
Yeah.
It should be like this should be like the Superdome during Katrina.
I was about to say, y'all trying to give me PTSD bringing up Katrina.
I'm sorry.
But it
we don't
is,
want to do
yeah.
that. We're forgive me.
Oh, Lord.
Gosh, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Listen, when I come back, I'm going to go back to the phone lines. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. I want to know if you're in an interfaithful relationship. And I want to hear a success story. I want to hear a Jew with an atheist
Well, I wonder if my friend's listening.
or a Christian with an atheist. I want to see how that works. You know, sisters in Jesus, they can't let Jesus go. I don't know how they going. Me and Jesus, look at me like me and Jesus ain't going nowhere, nigga.
No, Jesus is
Me and Jesus is a package deal. If you and Jesus are a package deal, call me right now, 323-230-4610. I'll be back in 2.2 seconds. We'll holler.
Yeah, my homie Adam from undergrad, his mom
Hey, take it off the speakers.
was a practicing Muslim and his dad was a practicing, like, Hasidic Jew.
We got a couple minutes. You
Yeah.
guys need a little.
And, like, what he said, it really gave him freedom. He's like, I believe all and I question all. And so I really thought that was, like, an awesome place to be in. Like, you believe all, you question all. I was like, that's a really beautiful place. When I was young, I hated it. I thought, like, you can't believe all and question. Because, like I said, I really struggled with, like, my sexuality and the dogma of religion. So back then, I didn't appreciate it. But as I got older, I was like, man, that is dope. Like, yeah, you grew up reading the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. And so someone once told me, like, you have to be, you have to use the word as your sword. Like, you got to know your truth, so when other people challenge it, you can fight back. And I'm like,
I learned
well,
all that
how
stuff.
about instead of fighting back, I could listen to see if their truth is similar to my truth.
I think a lot of it is rooted in the same thing. I think a lot of it is the interpretation, it's the creation of, like I said, the us versus them, and we are better because we believe this. And I don't know. I just
Somebody
feel
said, TD Jakes, the church is here in Dallas. He's good. He's straight.
Right. I was like, he's fine. He's not playing.
Well, I know it for my grandmother, like I said, she was a Eastern Star, a Mormon, a Catholic. Then she became Christian again. And my grandfather was a thug, and I mean an all-out thug. I'm talking about I was getting this car, be naked women all over the truck with their stuff on. Yeah, my granddaddy was he was a trip. Like,
I
I
believe
got
it.
friends
I'm
to
like
this
it.
day. Matter of fact, one of them, he works at Pauline's Hair. He's like probably 50. And him and my grandfather used to hang out. And my grandfather back then, think about it, I was a little kid, so he's hanging out with him.
Little young things.
And he's 75.
That's
So
crazy.
you already know what's up.
Right.
Like, why they let you hug the block with the thugs?
Uh-huh.
Right, clearly, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's like night and day. Him and my grandmother, night and day.
And they still work. They made it pop up.
That's what I'm saying. So it can work.
Is it wrong that it bothers me that people are always like, I'm gonna pray for something, like pray for example, pray for Texas, but I'm like, prayer without works is dead, so what are you doing to help those people? Because that's how I felt.
I went through that phase for a little bit, but then I realized I was like,
I mean, I felt like that with Katrina. Everybody's like, oh my gosh,
You trying to go back in after this song?
No, people need to be rescued. People need help. What are you
How many?
doing?
But I think
Where are we?
it's 20. So I think some people
How much?
should do like you said, but some people
60
are in a
seconds?
position to do. But their prayers, let me tell you something. Prayer changes things. So I mean, so if you got a bunch of people praying for the same thing, and God is in the midst of it. God
Look at
bring
this.
them.
sorry.
They wild.
Help them either, but you would have prayed for them. I mean, that's the least you could do.
That's the thing. There's more than, it's not just the money. There's more than one way to help people.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying it's a catch-22. You're right, though.
30 seconds.
And then fade us into the instrumentals.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned. Are you unequally yoked? Gosh. Do you have to be the same religion to be in a good relationship? Can a Muslim date a non-believer? Muslims would call those kafirs, kafirun. Right? Gosh, the hypocrites, the concealers of the truth, the kafirs. Gosh.
But at least Muslims have it a little right. Like they'd be like, a Muslim man can marry a non-Muslim woman. I feel like that's actually ahead of the game.
She's not gonna get no respect in that relationship, though.
I mean, I didn't say that she was. But they're allowed based on their book.
Wow. Are they? We have to check that.
Yeah.
Well, let's check that.
I will say I've read it in there before, but it's been a long time since I cracked the Quran. So.
Wow.
Like a long time since I cracked the Quran.
Gosh, I don't want my kids to be a prisoner,
Yeah.
right, of an idea.
Yeah.
Because they need to fuck around and kill themselves for the idea.
Yes.
Like, Allah is a word.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, you understand? This is, you can kill yourself for a concept?
Right.
Wow, man, that's crazy. You're gonna kill, because how many relationships could have been the one, but because they didn't fit your ideological construct, that you sent the one packing. Now you got one that fits the construct, but isn't the one.
Right.
And you find yourself reminiscing, or maybe even thinking back like,
Or divorcing.
I made a wrong choice.
Wow.
Yes.
Oops. That part. That part. Oops. Oops.
Can't date no idea. I want you to have some good ideas. And I want those ideas to be flawed. And I want you to find the ideas. And I want you to work on the ideas. I want you to, to develop the ideas. I want the ideas to be yours.
Right.
How about that? That's a different kind of relationship. Yeah, man. Caller, you're on the line. Are you struggling? Are you trying to get out? Are you trying to fix an interfaithful relationship? Are you over Jesus? Caller, speak on it. We good, man. Wow. Music.
Well, sometimes it's kind of like, I don't want to base that. I don't want to say just because she's as long as she's the right woman. It could be someone that follows a whole different faith, and she can be my shoe ride and die person. You know, and I just want to know what you think about that.
So your question was, just because a woman is of the same faith as you doesn't necessarily mean she's right for you? All right, cool. I'm glad I was able to extrapolate that.
Right.
Let me just say this. That's true. Just because somebody believes as you believe doesn't mean that they're compatible with you.
Right.
That to me, that's the whole trickery in the equally yoked shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you think because y'all think alike or y'all practice the same belief that you're actually yoked.
Right.
Let me tell you where what yoke comes from. Just the wording. Yoke and union, which in Sanskrit, yoke turns into yoga, which means union.
Mm-hmm.
Union. Now watch this. Most of us try to communicate
Mm-hmm.
without communion.
Yeah.
To commune is to recognize the oneness within each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Communion. There's oneness there. Most of us are sitting on a conveyor belt waiting for our turn to talk. You're not really listening. We don't really give a damn about what you're saying. We're just waiting for you to finish so we can begin. So most people are communicating without communion,
Right.
and most relationships are not in union in terms of what the word yoke actually means. It means union, oneness, not oneness of idea, but oneness of consciousness.
Yes.
See, being equally yoked is talking about the same consciousness. You could have a young person with a real old soul, 20-something, 25-something, but an ancient soul that knows some real deep shit about themselves, and they'll be more spiritually in tune than some old, dogmatic, 40-year church-going ass person that think they know.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, it's about communion. And most people don't have communion in their relationships. What they have is obligations to follow the rules that they agreed to when they started this failed mission.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, brother, I appreciate you bringing out the pastor in me. Thank you very much. Thank you, young man. Keep listening to the show, man. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Gosh, that was good. Let's see if we have more. Caller, you're on the line. Caller? Caller! What's up, man? What's happening? I could hear it in the background. Can you turn it down? We be turned up. You already know what it is. What's happening, man?
Wow.
Where you at? Talk to us, man. So do me a favor. Do me a favor. For everybody that's listening right now, paint a picture. Tell us. Look outside your window and tell us what it looks like. Describe it in every detail. We're going to shut up and listen. You are our man on the scene. Break it down to us. What's happening in Beaumont, Texas right now?
Like, you know, got some rain, flooding out here, some wind, you know. I can't.
How high
Did you die?
is the water?
Are you there?
Uh-oh.
Okay, he back. Let's go. All right.
I was like,
And then, shit, we got some flooding out here.
Okay. Yeah, your phone situation is bad too, ain't it? He gone.
yeah, he's gone.
All right, well, Jesus, stay in one spot so we can keep your signal. All right.
Yeah, chicken faludas, you know. I gotta stay on point out here, man. You. Oh, what now? Oh.
Well, he a real one. Won't be no looting.
All right, listen, man, we gotta go because your connection is bad, man. We gotta move on, but I appreciate you calling. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? What? Who is it? We got you, man. All the prayers going out to Houston and Beaumont. We hope everything works out for y'all. All right, let's get it. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Hustle from Miami. No stranger to wetness. What up, man? What's happening, man? You listening to the show, right? It's the same topic. Yeah, apparently. It's the same topic. It's cool. Hey, it's bad out there, man, but I appreciate the fact that he called in, man. Much love to him, and prayers go out to Houston and Beaumont and all the surrounding areas that are affected by Hurricane Harvey. Yeah, man.
I guess, I got a couple thoughts real quick. I just feel like when you're talking about what you believe in religion and things like that, there comes a point regularly where I feel like we should assess what we actually believe. Because if you ain't living it, are you really believing it?
Right.
Wow. Yep.
People can tell you they're Christian. Plenty of people can tell you they read the Bible. But how many people can actually say they remember what they read in the Bible? You feel what I'm saying? How many people can actually say they live what they say they believe? That's what it really comes to. That's where the rubber meets the road. So, me, I am a follower of Christ and that belief and what it was that he was teaching. But you gotta understand, from what I read, he was only talking about love, not judging people. You know what I'm saying?
But Hustle, I've got to ask, does a person have to be a Christian in order for you to be with them? Can you be with a non-believer? And let me ask you, but let me hit it again. Can you be with a non-believer without the desire to try to convert them?
That part.
Labels. Are we talking labels or living?
Either or. Because they could be living it, they could be living it, but they might be living it through a different ideology. What if they're a Buddhist living it through the Buddhism path of non-attachment and, nirvana, and they're actually living it? Could you be good with them?
You see, if I'm living it and they're living it, we're going to intermingle that way naturally. Understand this, though, what you're talking about right now is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
We just hitting it from different angles. Because what I'm saying is, we get so caught up in trying to fit under this umbrella that we've been shown. We're not actually assessing who we are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when you know who you are, then you can see that in others.
Right.
And you understand what it is you want around you. But until you know yourself, how are you even supposed to know what you want to bring in your circle?
Hustle, you sick, man. I said that shit an hour ago. What's wrong with you, Hustle? I said the exact same shit an hour ago, Hustle. No, but you're right. No, but you're right, because if you think of it that way, if you got a fully realized Hindu who's not practicing it anymore, they're in it. They are it. How can a fully realized Christian who's at the height of their understanding not see God in that person?
Right.
It be the low-level, unlearned motherfuckers who pass the most judgment.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
You ain't read the book. in the multiple languages in which it was translated and which it came from, you don't know what it's actually saying. You've been force-fed some bullshit that you barely understand, and you're a lowercase, low-level parrot trying to regurgitate some shit you don't understand. It's more of those people out there than there are the fully realized people. The fully realized people don't even give a fuck what their title is.
What the label is.
What the label is. I see you, Hustle.
Yeah.
But you got to come in on time, man, and stop using my science. No, it's all love, bruh. I know, man. It's all love. You've been down the whole time, and I appreciate you. Pimp. You under dig? Thanks, man. Nah, but this is good. I love it. The callers are rolling in. Let's get some more callers. Turn your entire life down. Caller? Caller. I can hear you. Yeah. Man, I'm out here trying to proselytize. What's up?
The Cleveland, man. Favorite subjects, man. Well, first, real quick, I've grown up in that religious household, specifically like Jehovah's Witness, whatever. So, like, when I listen to the other caller talk about, you know, when he was expounding his, knowledge upon that, you know, it was really interesting because, like, they really place a lot of value and quality on, like, family and, like, close-knittedness, which was cool. But on the flip side of that, it came with a lot of discipline, and even to the point where, you know, growing up with all boys or whatever, and my brothers, they got it the worst because they was the one that was about to be held responsible, you know, especially for, like, me being a younger brother, to make sure that, you know, I followed through and everything like that. So it was really a lot of pressure. But when I got to about 20, I'm 29 now, but when I got to 20, you know, something just clicked on me, and it was like, you know what, I can't do this. I gotta go. Mom and pops, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't agree with this, but at a certain level, it was like, you know what. But then I came back around a couple years later, and I seen this video. His name was, he used to be an ex-pastor, Pastor Ray Higgins, and I seen a video of his. And the name of the title was, I believe it was called Jesus Can't Save You, or Jesus Isn't Real, or whatever, something to that nature. And it was funny because he had, like, the evidence, because he went in Egypt and Shakira before that they was when you couldn't come in with, like, taking photos and videos, but he actually had, like, the evidence of going from, like, all the different tools. And when he came and he, like, dissected everything and did his research and he broke everything down, he has a few videos on there, but it really opened up my eye, because I was like, you know what, even though I couldn't really explain it, I already felt it in my mind and in my soul. It's just certain things that's within your essence that you really can't explain. But, you know, and then I seen a video of yours not too long ago. It was on your Zola show that was about religion or whatever, and I really took a whole bunch of note of that. I think it was like the Saturn, the sun word Saturn, but that was really interesting too. So I was like, you know what? Then after, I wanted to go ahead and get the book myself. I think it's called The Book of Osiris, the ancient Egyptian resurrection or whatever. I had that book for a little bit, but I'm gonna have to reorder it. But it was some really interesting jewels in there, man. But just to go back at the topic, just to shorten things up, with relationships and religion, me seeing it firsthand, I don't really think it's a good mix, because you're gonna have the two different types. You're gonna have those extremists, then you're gonna have those who, when they use it for when it's convenient for them. Now, those right there, I mean, the ones that try to use it for convenience, I think those are the most disingenuous people
because at least the ones who are of the extreme, from what I've seen, the majority, at least they try to do what's right, even if they are, really strict and everything like that. But those other people, I don't, But
hey, well, brother, thank you, man. Thank you, Jesus, thank you. No, I appreciate the insight. He right though. He right. At the end of the day, man, if I'm dating you and you're religious, you got to be like diet religious. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be real rigid in your religiosity. Like, you got a free flow with it. Hey, you feel like going to church? I just want a fellowship. Do you? Okay, cool. I might even go. I'm a people watcher. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'll go out
Church
there
is great for
just
that.
to see. And let me just say this. I don't agree with none of the dogmatic shit. But a lot of pastors still have wisdom.
Yes.
And can speak on some common shit,
Yes.
some common sense shit, and you know what I'm saying, and have some jewels. But you got to be savvy enough and evolved enough to be able to pick through the bullshit.
Exactly.
See, let me give you a perfect example of religious bullshit. Hey, brother, thank you for the call. Thank you so much. Call anytime, and we'll be back here Wednesday and Friday. But let me tell you, here's a perfect example of religious bullshit. The eulogy. Pastors, to me, are fucking selfish. God doesn't need recruiters like the military.
Right, especially at a damn funeral.
We at the funeral, homie. Now, don't be like Brother Whoop-de-Whoop, because we don't know what his state of affairs was when he died. Is your shit in order? If you left here today and something happened to you, are you right with Jesus?
All right.
Get your puss ass. I don't like that.
Right.
I think that's disrespectful to the funeral.
Exactly.
Yes.
We hired you to bury somebody.
That part.
You don't know them.
Right.
And because you don't know them, you can't really speak on them.
Right.
So a lot of times these motherfuckers will speak on your salvation. They'll use this as a recruitment opportunity to join the army of Jesus. And I think that's disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful.
Yes.
Are you right with God? I was told by the family that Sister Abernathy was more than right with Jesus.
Again, how are you gonna?
I was like,
how are you
no
gonna let
one
someone else
knows.
judge your
Yeah.
spirituality?
Exactly.
You really
Right.
can't judge anyone else's spirituality at all.
That part.
Somebody said Joel Osteen, breaking news, is opening the church doors right now. Seriously, out of being pressured.
Right, as he should. The church, like I said, is a hospital. It's
Maybe
a
this
sanctuary.
maybe this
That's its
motherfucker wasn't
definition.
flooded.
It's a sanctuary. What does that mean? A place
He was
to
like,
go to.
he was like, I saw what happened to the goddamn. Where was everybody at in Katrina? The
Superdome.
Superdome. I saw what happened to the Superdome. I'm not gonna let that happen to this church.
Hey, your church got insurance. You'll be fine.
Shit is on TV every week. What am I gonna do? Let y'all in here? Shit gonna be stanking. Niggas gonna be pissing and nigga tents and shit. No, we not doing that.
Right.
This shit is making too much bread for me to fuck this up.
Man.
All right, I'm gonna go around the room one more time. Let me wrap it. Starting with the youngest. She's wise though. She has an old soul, I can tell. I can tell. Religion. Deal breaker or no? Gotta think the way you think? Gotta believe the way you believe? Deal breaker or no?
Yeah, deal breaker.
Deal breaker?
Religion? Yeah. Religion? Yeah.
What about marriage?
Still.
That's religion.
And we're not interested in getting married. I've never been interested in it. I think it's a business. I'm not interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got that. Smoke. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, young progressive.
See, we right here, bro. We right here.
You was just married.
I said I never. I'm like, I didn't want to do that in the.
All right, Mimi.
Okay, ask me the question again.
Is religion a deal breaker? Do they have to be what you are.
They don't have to be what I am.
Ooh, hey.
Oh,
Didn't see that coming,
really?
baby girl.
They don't have to be who I am. They just can't attack who I am.
Ah.
That's it.
Ooh, say more. I like that.
So let's just be who we are and be free with it. Then I'm fine with that. But if you come in trying to change my program of my beliefs, I
We got a
won't
problem.
do it to you. You don't do it to me. That's really where I come from with it. You know. Papa pass.
Yep. I can smoke a bag of that. Yep. Arlene? Deal breaker?
It can be.
Oh, say
I think
more.
it can be. It can be depending on how you deal with your religion and how you handle it. When it is to be that dogmatic and it becomes judgmental, it becomes less about becoming on a higher plane and more about controlling the people and the events around you, then no, I can't do that. I can't deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want my family to have to deal with that. I don't want to build a family with you and create a family of damaged people who are consistently controlled. I don't want to do that. So no, I'm very much more on the spiritual tip. I'm very much more on the, I don't do the labels that well. I don't do the specific type of religious dogmatic labels. I can't do it.
There it is. You got 30 seconds before we get out of here. Deal breaker, yes or no?
It's not a deal breaker. Again, it's how you practice versus what you believe specifically. Yeah, that's me.
I can smoke a bag of that. Listen, we'll be back Wednesday with another heater. The voice of reason was crazy tonight. I thought this was very interesting. We're going to see how people respond on social media. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Dash Talk Radio. Voice of reason. We out.
Yeah.